Welcome, everybody, yet another episode of the Wrestling vs. the World podcast. If you're enjoying your day, sweet. If not, what the hell ever. So today I was going to cover the E60 WWE Behind the Curtain special, but there was something that happened not too long ago that made me finally change the subject matter. Today, it is finally time to close a certain chapter and cover the Brooke Knows Best series finale. A while back, I covered two different episodes back-to-back that I covered the entire series, well, one per season. And I mentioned in that at the end of the season 2 episode that I did not have the series finale, could not find it anywhere. But now, finally, since then, the episode has been found. Now, the person that sent me this on Discord is known as TYO212. Massive shout out to him, by the way. Gigantic thank you for this. Because now, not only has this episode been fully found, but now I can complete this. But TYO212 did ask me to wait to do this until after V did his full season 2, analysis here for the series, which, of course, I agreed to. So now that V Infuso has uploaded his full season review and everything, I can finally make my solo episode talking about this series finale to finally put this series to rest. Once again, like I said, thank you to TYO212. Massive thank you for this, because now it's time to put an end to this. So the episode begins with Brooke, Glenn, and Ashley going down to the dance studio to scout dancers for Brooke's big upcoming show, which in that time period was about a week away, and this was her first show in 5 or 6 months. However, tragedy strikes because during the scouting tryout, Brooke gets an emergency call about Hulk collapsing due to both of his legs going numb. So Brooke has to leave because of the emergency, and Glenn and Ashley take over the audition scouting, and Brooke, she's just hightails it. It's like a 5-hour drive just to get from Miami all the way up to see Hulk. And finally she gets there, and by the point she gets to the hospital, Hulk's in the machine getting a CT scan on his legs. I had to look up the name of the machine. I wanted to make sure it wasn't a CAT scan or an MRI or anything, but it is a CT scan because of the machine. And Hulk reveals that due to his condition, he can't stand for longer than 5 minutes. Which, yeah, that's a massive problem right there, and it's very concerning. And it turns out that Hulk's back is still causing him issues, and it's what's causing this issue with his mobility, because it's been established over the years. Hulk's gone through a lot of surgeries. He's had back problems and everything. And of course, we remember the leg drop really affecting him and everything, saying he never wanted to do the move anymore. So he has a consultation with his doctors, and they show him his x-ray is showing how bad his lower back really is. That should go to show you, folks, for anybody who wants to say wrestling is fake, look at the damage that's done, especially to the spines of some of these wrestlers. So the doctors, they openly acknowledge that, hey, you're tired of the back surgeries. And the discussion comes with spinal fusion surgery with at least 4 different screws and 2 different rods in there just to try to fix this and realign his back. Then later the night, Hulk is at the beach house and talking to Brooke. And at first he's talking about the finances because he's got 2 options here. Either give $40,000 to help support Linda and Charlie, who aren't seen in this episode, or pay his mom's nursing home bill. Because finances aren't easily helping around, because I know this is 2009, so at this point he wasn't with WWE anymore. He had to follow the divorce. I don't think he's even signed the contract with TNA just yet. But he reveals that if he has this spinal fusion surgery, he's going to be out of work for 6 to 8 months, and that won't help him earn money for the stuff that's been going on. But there is another option, where he can have laser surgery to get the spurs out of his back, just to finally relieve him from pain instead of focusing on fixing his spine's alignment issue. So it's not going to fix the overall problem, but their focus is just to get him out of pain. And when I'm hearing this, it's starting to kind of remind me of the stuff involving Kurt Angle with his post-WrestleMania 19 neck surgery, where they changed the surgery just to get the spurs out, get him out of pain, so his recovery time is a lot faster. So that's what it kind of feels and sounds like. And Hulk's biggest worry now is that the surgery may prevent him from attending Brooke's comeback concert. And this is reminding me of that VH1 Inside Out special that we've already covered on this podcast with some of the plot here. And I'll get to that again in just a bit later, but it feels like deja vu. So the day of surgery comes, and the doctor reemphasizes that the purpose of this surgery is just get Hulk out of pain, get the spurs out, help him out so he can finally move around again. So Brooke and Jennifer, they're waiting in the waiting room while Hulk's got the surgery. Brooke calls up Glenn to give him updates on how things are going, even though it's early in the morning. And she's waiting, they're waiting in the waiting room. After a little while, the surgeon comes out, gives a positive report saying Hulk's okay. Go ahead and see him. And he's sitting in a chair. Looks like everything's fine. and he felt like, and immediately he's saying that ever since he got like done with surgery, he felt like the pressure has finally taken off his lower back, and his legs are no longer numb. So it's like, good thing there. Good thing there. So now they fast forward, he's getting brought back to the beach house, and he easily falls asleep. Like, he's laid face down in bed, ice pack on his lower back, he's just out like a light. Must be nice. Well then, who decides to come visit Hulk while he's recovering? Brian Knobbs, whose last name they actually spell correctly this time with 2 B's. And he's there with flowers and Patron, and Hulk having to reiterate Knobbs is like, hey, I'm not your damn girlfriend. No need to give me flowers and get in touch with my feminine side. It's like, it'll brighten the room, Hulk. They're flowers. Come on. And then he does give another health update saying that according to the doctors, with the surgery, it should be a couple of weeks where he should be able to be back on his feet, full mobility, be good as new. So that's a good thing, not being out forever. But I mean, the worry is still there. Is he going to be able to make it to the whole concert coming up? So now you get back to the dance studio. Brooke is now back and everything, like talking to Glenn and Ashley about updates. And then this is the part that I do remember mentioning when I talked about my memories of this episode. I do recall saying that I thought Brooke said that her dad could be up for like 10 minutes at a time and then have to sit right back down. But here she says it's 15 minutes that he can stand up before having to get back down due to his leg. So 5 minutes longer than what I remember, but hey, close enough. Okay, ballpark. So Brooke now has to go through her part of the rehearsal for the show, which is the next day. So she's got 1 day of rehearsal left to get through all this despite the emergency. And she's having doubts about being able to memorize the choreography while Glenn tries to give her a pep talk to help her out. I honestly don't know how people can memorize this stuff. Like the dance moves like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, I don't know how dancers do it, memorize every single step like that. It's unbelievable. And for Brooke, that's twice as hard because she's got the choreography and has to sing the song, so she's got to memorize the lyrics too. I mean, unless she lip syncs like Ashley Simpson, but let's not get into that. So now the day of the show arrives. Brooke's nerves are just kicking in before the pre-show rehearsal, having to sit in a van to calm down because it's just like she's having a meltdown. And Glenn's just having to talk to the dancers, being like, all right, everything's going to be all right. She's having a little breakdown. Then after the break, a limo pulls up to Hardcore Holly's entrance music. You know, all that shit. And out comes Hulk on crutches. So I feel clickbait into thinking Hardcore Holly is going to make a cameo on the show. Damn it. So just like the VH1 special that we've covered here before, Hulk has surgery, and he still makes sure to attend Brooke's show to support her. So it's pretty much like, I'm not saying it's like planned or anything like that at all. I'm just saying that it's eerily similar that we're seeing the same plot from this one VH1 special, and then as well as what would end up becoming the series finale for this series. So the show, the concert and everything takes place. Brooke does one song, and she brings back those dances that she did on the stripper pole that we saw her learn during the series in her living room and everything, like spinning around, upside down, all that shit. I didn't know Hope. You're like, oh, what were you doing learning that stuff? Brooke, didn't you, or Hope, don't you remember seeing the pole in the living room and the video and everything? She's done this before, back before she had to follow with her mother. And then she also has to make it an attention to the fans, being like, hey, my dad just had surgery and he's here. Look, it's Hulk Hogan. We get it. You don't need to bring up attention. We know who he is. And afterwards, be like, hey, Brooke, congratulations. And then Glenn even gives Brooks props, saying how he's surprised that he's worked with so many people, yet nobody else besides her that he's remembered working with over the years in the music industry were able to pull off her performance with just 1 day of rehearsal the way she did. So it's like, yay, Brooke, pull it off. And that was it. That's how the series concludes. Because, again, this series was all over with. Ratings were probably still so terrible that VH1 decided, yeah, let's not do a 3rd season. So that means that the show ends with Hulk having surgery and Brooke still not reconciling with her mother. Because there's no Charlie, there's no Linda, there's nothing showing the main house. So I don't know if they ever reconciled since the series concluded. I know Linda's not with Charlie anymore. They since broke up, but I don't know how that goes with the family now. I mean, we do know later on that Hulk would marry Jennifer, and then they would no longer be together. In fact, speaking of that, I might as well give a bit of a spoiler. 3 weeks from now, on August 7th, for episode 188 of the podcast, I'm going to be covering the Finding Hulk Hogan documentary that happened over 10 years ago. You'll get ready for that. That's going to be after the 2 episodes of Saturday Morning Slam that we're finally getting concluded after this. But, yeah, not the best series finale. I know it probably wasn't planned, but still, not a good way for the show to close out. I mean, that was the same thing that we had with Hogan Knows Best, where it's just like the show's suddenly canceled and it ends on an episode that doesn't feel like a series finale, but it's just like, feels like it went out with a whimper. So anyway, let me know all in the comment section below. For anybody who's seen the series finale or even has finally heard about this now, what did you think about this send-off for the show? I am honestly glad it's over, because hey, at least we didn't hear people constantly talking to each other being like, oh, how have you been since the divorce? Huh? How about you and you and you? Thank goodness, because like I said in my Season 2 review and everything, there was way too much constant emphasis about the fact that the family's no longer together. But anyway, if you enjoyed today's episode, folks, please remember, leave a like, subscribe with the bell turned on if you're listening on YouTube, or follow if you're listening to this podcast on any other service that the podcast is available on. And I'll catch you all in the next episode. Thanks for listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and good day, everybody.